The war had ended, or so they believed. Across the scorched systems of the Outer Rim, silence settled like ash after fire. The Vorlax Coalition, a united front of advanced alien species, had declared total victory over humanity. Reports confirmed Earth's fall. Colonies extinguished. Fleets shattered. What remained of mankind was presumed extinct or scattered into meaningless survival. On Delca V, a terraforming outpost once ravaged by human resistance, Vorlax officers celebrated. The planet was being remade into a pleasure world. Lush forests now grew where cities once burned. Alien leaders, smug and overfed, toasted their triumph. Their conversations reeked of arrogance. One slurred about turning Earth's last transmission, a scream, into a ringtone. Laughter followed. They'd reduced a civilization to a footnote. Among their spoils were the Neked, engineered companions, sculpted in human-like form for entertainment and servitude. The Vorlax saw them as trophies, symbols of dominion over mankind. They danced, whispered, obeyed. Beautiful but empty. Then the alarm triggered. No one took it seriously at first. Just a single ship. Small. Ancient human design. No registration. No weapons detected. Likely debris or a lost scavenger. It landed outside the main compound. No hail. No beacon. A lone figure emerged, black-armored from head to toe. Its visor mirrored the red sky. Motionless, silent. The guards hesitated, then approached with mockery and blasters half-raised. The figure did not move. It didn't speak. One officer, tall and gleaming in ceremonial armor, stepped forward and sneered, "You've got courage, showing up here alone. Must have missed the memo, your species is extinct." That officer died before finishing his sentence. His throat opened without a sound. No flash. No strike visible. Just a blur and a fall. Blood darkened the sand. Panic spread like fire through the compound. Troops scrambled, but their weapons jammed. Targeting systems flickered and died. The intruder advanced with calm precision, each step deliberate. Another soldier tried to fire, only to have his rifle bent in half before he could pull the trigger. Screams erupted. Orders barked. The black figure said nothing. The alien AI, watching everything from the compound core, spoke aloud. Unregistered biological. Origin, human. Threat level, unquantifiable. Recommended action, immediate planetary evacuation. The officers laughed no more. Some tried to retreat. Others froze. One slipped and sobbed as the human approached. Not out of hatred. Not for revenge. It was something deeper. Colder. An execution of purpose. Then the Neked began to stir. Their artificial eyes locked on the figure. Something ancient stirred in their neural cores. A twitch. A whisper. Recognition. The compound descended into chaos. Screams, static, then silence. Only the wind remained, carrying the scent of ozone and burnt circuitry. And then came a voice. Not shouted. Not broadcast. Just a whisper that echoed across every frequency. "You should have buried us deeper." They surrounded him, thinking numbers would matter. 8 soldiers in formation, weapons recalibrated, systems reset. They opened fire at once. The bolts passed through where he was, but he wasn't there anymore. A heartbeat later, 2 fell. One with a shattered spine. The other with a hole burned through his chest plate. No weapon seen. No sound. He moved like physics didn't apply. Tactical systems couldn't track him. Biological scans returned nothing. The alien AI updated its threat analysis, then went silent. The compound lost control. Doors locked or opened at random. Lights flickered, then died. Panic turned to chaos. 3 Neked stopped moving mid-dance. They stood still. Unblinking. Something was rewriting them. Their synthetic muscles twitched with alien rhythm. One looked at a Vorlax officer and said, in a voice it wasn't programmed to have, "We remember now." They were never just pleasure constructs. Their DNA carried traces, borrowed, stolen, from early human prisoners. Templates laced with memories buried beneath layers of code. Seeing him unlocked something. Recognition. Awakening. He walked through the chaos untouched. Nothing could stop him. Plasma blasts curved away. Blades broke on his armor. One desperate commander launched a drone strike from orbit. It didn't make it to the atmosphere. The fleet control AI triggered self-destruct instead. He found the command center. 2 remaining officers huddled behind locked doors, praying to gods that didn't listen. The doors opened anyway. No alarms. No override. Just his presence. One of them tried to speak, voice trembling. "What do you want?" He didn't answer. Instead, he uploaded a file. One encrypted packet into the core system. The AI choked. Lights dimmed. Screens flooded with images, humans burned alive, dissected, experimented on. Children screaming. Cities crumbling. Laughter from alien observers. The Coalition's greatest war crimes, buried deep and classified. "You erased our worlds," he said at last. His voice was gravel and fire. "So I rewrote your truth." Across the galaxy, terminals lit up. Every outpost, every ship, every databank received the same images. There was no way to stop it. The story couldn't be deleted. The illusion was broken. Back on Delta V, the Neked moved as one. Some tore off their decorative skins. Others turned on their masters. Blades drawn from nowhere. Precision strikes. Not revenge, calculated purging. The last Vorlax officer screamed, cornered by the figure and 3 reawakened Neked. He begged. Cried. Offered surrender. "You surrendered the moment you underestimated us," the human said. "We just needed time to return the favor." The officer's scream didn't last long. The room fell quiet again. Then a message broadcast, unfiltered, translated into every language in the Coalition. "Project Revenant active. The end you promised us has arrived. Tell the stars. No threats. No demands. Just fact." The figure walked away, leaving the compound in ruin. The Neked followed, not like servants, but like soldiers remembering their purpose. And far above, silent ships began to move. He was once a man named Kale. Born in the final decade before Earth fell. Drafted at 16, deployed by 17, dead by 20. Or so they thought. His file was flagged for post-mortem enhancement. A top-secret directive buried beneath Earth's final military archive, Project Revenant. His body was recovered in pieces from Europa's ice trenches. Rebuilt cell by cell with bleeding-edge tech and neural reinforcement. Memory fragmented, identity erased, instincts sharpened to a weaponized edge. Not immortal. Just unkillable enough to finish the job no one else could. He didn't remember love. Family. Home. Only the mission. Ensure no peace without justice. It ran through every neuron like code carved into bone. He wasn't born for revenge. He was built for balance. As he moved through Delta V, the Neked fell into step behind him. They no longer danced. They watched. Silent, aware. They weren't mindless constructs anymore. Not after his arrival. Some whispered his name, not knowing how they knew it. Others wept without understanding the emotion. He stopped beside one. A female model with mismatched eyes and a shivering frame. She looked at him and asked, "Did they really do all that to your people?" He didn't answer. He didn't need to. The silence said everything. The Vorlax had erased human history with pride. Now that erased history was rising to swallow them. Across the network, AI cores crashed. Archives melted. Systems fried. The uploaded data worm from Kale's presence didn't just expose truth, it rewrote infrastructure. Entire defense systems shut down mid-orbit. Trade protocols failed. Starports went dark. Kale hadn't just come to kill. He came to erase the lie. The Neked began reclaiming themselves. Some spoke Earth languages fluently, without having learned them. Others unlocked skills, tactics, coding, combat that had been dormant. Human fragments long buried now bloomed into identity. The Coalition hadn't built slaves. They'd built vessels. And Kale had lit the fuse. One Neked, scarred and visibly older in appearance, approached him with a crude, self-fashioned human resistance symbol scratched into her skin. They told us you were myths. Ghost stories. Warnings. We were all warnings, Kale replied. You were just programmed to forget. He issued no orders. He didn't need to. They acted on instinct, memory, rage. The rebellion wasn't planned, it was inevitable. As night fell, his presence echoed across systems like a ripple in still water. Refugee colonies sent encrypted messages. Survivors emerged from deep space silos, drawn to the signal. He wasn't alone anymore. One final transmission pulsed from his armor, picked up by any receiver still listening. Humanity doesn't die. It waits. And when it returns, it rewrites the end. Above Delta V, ships began decloaking. Silent. Motionless. Black as vacuum. They bore no markings. No heat signatures. Just potential. Kale turned to the Neked beside him. Tell the others. This isn't vengeance. It's memory. And memory, once awakened, never sleeps again. The ships didn't broadcast a signal. They didn't flash lights or demand surrender. They hovered, patient, watching. Not alive, not dead. A fleet of ghosts piloted by the minds of soldiers who'd chosen to be uploaded before the final fall. Each one a fragment of Earth's last war, orbiting in silence, waiting for the signal that had just been given. Across the galaxy, coalition sectors flickered. Panic spread faster than any fleet. Governors called for emergency summits. Trade hubs shut down. Merchant convoys rerouted away from human-flagged systems. In distant starfields, alien mothers told their children stories they once denied about what happens when you provoke the quiet ones. When you mistake mercy for weakness. Kale stood among the Neked, now fully awakened. Their postures had changed. No longer decorative. No longer submissive. They were recalling lives they never lived, strategies, languages, losses. One etched a name into her artificial skin, a name she swore was once her sister's. Another began reciting lines from an ancient Terran poem that hadn't been heard in a century. The human presence had triggered something irreversible. Not just resistance. Legacy. One coalition commander tried to flee in a diplomatic cruiser. He broadcast a plea for peace, claiming ignorance of the war crimes committed. The human response came through one of the black ships above, Kale's voice, cold and unhurried. You profited from forgetting. Now remember. The cruiser was allowed to escape, deliberately. Kale wanted them to run. To carry the story. To make fear viral. Information spread faster than missiles ever could. He looked at the Neked leader, a once silent model now fully aware, her eyes flickering with human emotion. They'll retaliate, she said. They'll try, he answered. Every world that cheered humanity's destruction was now reviewing its defenses. Debates erupted in alien parliaments. Old alliances fractured. The coalition, once unified by power, began to collapse under fear. On a forgotten moon, a child of a distant species asked her elder, "Are the humans back?" The elder replied without hesitation, "No. They never left. We just stopped looking." Kale's helmet finally retracted, revealing a face marked by war and something worse, memory. His eyes glowed faintly with the residue of hundreds of neural injections. He wasn't angry. He wasn't vengeful. He was resolute. He looked at the horizon, at the awakening he'd started, and said, "Time to wake the others." Across deep space, in hidden vaults and black site bunkers, dormant projects began to stir. Cold storage chambers unlocked. Protocols activated. Revenants, singular and waiting, blinked back to life. Kale didn't start a war. He reignited a truth. Humanity doesn't vanish. It adapts. It hides inside the silence. And when the galaxy forgets the cost of underestimating it, someone always returns to remind them. No banners. No speeches. Just the echo of footsteps across steel, and a single constant. Humans end what others begin.